Okay, what you're going to be doing is building 17-foot cigarette cables. 17-foot cigarette plug cables. Most of the time when they come in, they've already been prepped at the connector end. That's already been done. You don't have to do anything with it. And the cables come wrapped like this, with the end that you're going to be working on too short for you to be able to do what you need to do, and this end too long, it just gets in the way. So what you want to do is loosen the cable tie, get in there with a carpet knife, utility knife, loosen that up to where you can move it, slide it down the cable so that it gives you good length at this end, and then contains the bulk of your cable in a nice coil so you don't have these tails sticking out all over the place. So the closer you get it to them, and then you want this end to be about that long so you're able to work with it. Try and keep them as neat as you can. It just helps to keep everything flowing better. And then zip tie that down shut again. That's the first step, getting your cables prepped so you can work with them. The second step is you have a 1/4 inch long piece of heat shrink that needs to be put on right at the end of each cable. You just slide the two wires, the conductor wires on, slide your heat shrink right to the end of the main insulation, heat it, and you want it hot so it melts the heat shrink and melts the adhesive on the inside, and it'll be tacky when it's done, but as soon as it cures, it'll be glued right to that insulation. And what you don't want to do is just hold it there for too long, because it'll melt the insulation on your two inner conductor wires. So melt it enough that it melts the insulation, or melts the heat shrink, but not till it melts the inner conductor insulation. One at a time. Just put a piece of heat shrink on, melt it till it gets snug around the main body, and right to the end, because these go inside the cigarette plugs and you can't afford to have too much bulk. So if you put that heat shrink on too far down on the insulation, you'll have too much wire inside that cigarette plug. So you want to keep them as compact as possible. So that's step 1 and 2. Prep the cables so that you have some length to work with. And then step 2 is put heat shrink on the ends. If it's a little bit one way or the other, it's a little bit too far towards the bulk of the cable, you can just slide it down a little bit. It's plenty hot, but if you just touch it just enough to slide it down when that glue is still wet, that works okay.